A famous martyr from World War II gives a great description of what it means to be the church. I want to talk a little about that and also talk about a particular way we respond to that here at St. Philip the Deacon. Stay tuned. Hello, friends. Pastor Tim Westermeyer here. Good to be with you, as always. One of my favorite quotes that defines who we are as a church or what we're about as a church comes from the Lutheran theologian and pastor and martyr from World War II, Dietrich Bonhoeffer, who said famously, "The church is the church only when it exists for others." His point being that like individuals, the sort of primal sin of churches would be to turn in on ourselves, to focus only on ourselves, to think of ourselves as sort of a country club tending to our own needs. His point is that's not what the church is. The church is about spreading and sharing God's love freely to a world in need. The church is the church. It is doing its work as the church only when it exists for others. And we do that, of course, throughout the year in all kinds of ways, throughout the span of life, through baptisms, through confirmation, through weddings, through caring and praying for the sick, to funerals, to regular weekly worship, to teaching our young, to having people come together and share their own burdens with one another to lighten those burdens, and countless other ways I could talk about. But at this time of year particularly, and I guess I'm thinking of St. Philip the Deacon now, not the church broadly, but this specific congregation, one of the ways that we give away that love, share God's love, is by giving gifts to people who are in area shelters and lodges. These are individuals, and there are about 400 of them in about, 8 or 10 different shelters in our own immediate vicinity and all the way as far as St. Paul. These are individuals who may have particular medical challenges, who may be in a particular moment in their own recovery, or who have other needs that make them vulnerable. But by and large, they are largely forgotten. And this congregation, St. Philip the Deacon, all of you, help make Christmas special for them by purchasing gifts that they've requested or that are particular for them. And we hear year in and year out from these individuals that very often the only gift they get at this time of year comes from this congregation. And on behalf of all those people who we will never see in the front of the sanctuary, who you will never hear from directly, I just want to say a profound word of thanks to you, all of you who are part of St. Philip the Deacon, for making Christmas special for folks who otherwise would not be noticed and would be forgotten. I think that's a beautiful thing, and it's only one example, but an important example of how we accomplish that work that Bonhoeffer talks about, of being there for others. Now, I'm recording this on December 13th. It'll come out later this week. But a final thought about this particular moment is, of course, all of us have on our minds the devastating tornadoes that raged through the southern Midwest and some southern states over the last week. You can respond to the needs there however you feel best. But at moments like that, I always, and we always here at St. Philip the Deacon, like to lift up a particular nonprofit called Lutheran Disaster Response, focused on precisely that kind of traumatic event, often a natural disaster, in the United States. If you give $1 to Lutheran Disaster Response, $1 is given where it is needed most. So again, respond however you feel is best for you, but if you're looking for a way, again, to be the hands and feet of Christ, to care for those in need at this particular moment, I would lift up and commend to you that particular nonprofit, Lutheran Disaster Response. I hope this finds you well. I hope you're enjoying the Advent season, and as always, be well, stay in touch, and God bless.